Welcome back to another segment of Quick Movie Reviews. I am Dylan Gable, and today I got 5 reviews today for movies that came out this year that I did not review yet. 5 of them: Fast X, Infinity Pool, John Wick Chapter 4, The Little Mermaid, and Plane. I forgot I was reviewing Plane, and I just watched that movie today. That movie came out in January. I think it was January when it came out. I didn't see it until now, so without further ado, let's fucking review these things. Fast X is the 10th film in the Fast and Furious franchise, 11th if you're counting Hobbs and Shaw, and it's directed by Louis Leterrier, who also directed Transporter 2 and The Incredible Hulk, and it's a Fast and Furious story, alright. It's about Dom protecting his family from a guy named Dante Reyes, who is seeking revenge over the death of his father and the loss of his family fortune. Alright, so in order to give some context on what I think about Fast X, let me go through a quick rundown of my thoughts on the previous films. I think the first movie's okay. The second one is a guilty pleasure of mine. The third one, Tokyo Drift, not a fan. The fourth one's fine. I fucking love Fast 5. Fast 5 is still my favorite in this franchise to this day. Fast and Furious 6 is really good too. Furious 7's also really good. Fate of the Furious I thought was entertaining. Hobbs and Shaw is a fucking blast. That's one of my favorites too. And then F9, I like it a lot more than most people do, but I get the criticism of F9. I fucking get it. Alright, so Fast X. I think it's fun. It's not a great Fast and Furious movie. It's not a great movie, period, but I still had a lot of fun with Fast X. I thought I just love watching just ridiculously cartoony action on the big screen. I'm not expecting like fucking Die Hard here or something more realistic out of this franchise at this point. This franchise was never realistic to begin with. But yeah, they just cranked it up to 11 since Fast 5, and they just keep getting more and more ridiculous as each movie goes on, and it's not boring me yet, and I will say, it's not quite as ridiculous as F9. This movie kind of tones it down just a little bit. But, yeah, it's fun. I like these characters. I love all these. I'm always interested in what they do next, and I'm still interested in what they do after this. But yeah, if you're sick of these films, I completely get it. They're obvious cash grabs at this point, but I don't know. It still seems like they're having fun with this, so I'm gonna let it slide just a little bit. They're not as good as what they were earlier after F5, but I still have fun. So, let's talk about Jason Momoa. Since he's the villain of this movie, he's fucking chewing the scenery up like crazy. He's probably the most memorable villain that we've had in this franchise so far, besides Deckard Shaw. He's better than Cypher Rage. He's a lot of fun to watch. Jason Momoa is clearly having the time of his life here, and yeah, that's all that really matters here for me. He was very enjoyable. Now, yeah, of course, there's not a whole lot of stakes here because this is basically just like a soap opera. Characters die and then they come back. Fast X is no different in that regard. But, you know what? I don't care. I'm just there to be entertained. I'm not looking for anything deep. I'm not looking for top of the line writing like Quentin Tarantino or Aaron Sorkin or stuff like that. No, I just want a fun action movie, and that's what I got. I'm gonna give Fast X a B. You know, now I think of it, I have a lot more to say about The Little Mermaid, but I gotta keep this short because I got 3 other movies to review after this. The Little Mermaid, directed by Rob Marshall, it stars Halle Bailey, Awkwafina, Melissa McCarthy, Jacob Tremblay, Javier Bardem, and some more. It's what I expected, just not as bad. It's another boring, dull, passionless Disney live action remake. I don't care for this film at all. I wasn't expecting to like it, and I mean, I went in hoping this would finally be the one that I liked, but nah. It's still the same shit, just slightly better. That's mainly because of Halle Bailey. And Halle Bailey and Melissa McCarthy. They're the best parts of this movie. While Halle Bailey's performance itself isn't really anything to write home about, I will say she has a stunning singing voice. Whenever it was her turn to sing in this film, this movie got so much better because she is phenomenal at singing. I hope she gets more musical roles because, wow, she has a beautiful singing voice. And Melissa McCarthy actually does a pretty spot-on job as Ursula, so I can't knock the movie too much when there are some good things to say about it. That being said, it's just the same story, just fucking done worse. The original is so much better. It nails the story in 83 minutes. This movie is 2 hours and 15 minutes. This movie did not need to be that long. Maybe an hour and 40 would have been more reasonable. And the CGI is not good. It is bad. The CGI is not impressive at all. And yeah, it's... oh yeah, Awkwafina. Let's get the elephant out of the room here. Yeah, Awkwafina is terrible in this movie. She is the worst thing about it. Her performance is annoying as shit, and she has possibly one of the worst songs I have ever heard in my entire life in this film. Scuttlebutt. And it's a rap song. Oh boy. Did you want to hear a rap song in The Little Mermaid? Well, you're in luck with The Little Mermaid 2023. It's in here. And if you like cringe fucking rap numbers, here you go. Enjoy. It's what I expected, even though I did want to like this movie going in. I wanted this to be the one that cracked the fucking that cracked the formula, that broke that cycle for shitty Disney live-action remakes. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. If you like this movie, all the power to you. For my money, no. I'm gonna give The Little Mermaid a C-. Oh, hell yeah, now we're talking John fucking Wick. That's right, my review of John Wick Chapter 4 is finally here. And goddamn is this movie fucking awesome. I loved it when I saw it in theaters, and I still fucking love it now. This movie is fucking action movie gold. It is an action masterpiece. I love all 4 of these movies. This just may be my favorite one. Yeah, if I were to rank them, it would be, yeah, this one, the first one, then 3, and then 2. But I love all of them. They're all a fucking blast. I think this movie is as the best action in the entire franchise. This one has by far some of the freshest ideas for action in all 4 of these movies. This movie it feels epic too. Like, this movie's nearly 3 hours long. But for me, it did not feel that way. I had a big smile on my face the entire time. And of course, Keanu Reeves is always awesome as this character. He fucking brings everything to the table here. He's basically the Canadian Tom Cruise. Hell yeah, I said it. He's the Canadian Tom Cruise. There we go. And he is awesome. I'm glad that Keanu Reeves is Canadian, because, you know, I am. Means a whole lot to have our version of Tom Cruise. Anyways, yeah, it's fucking great. I love it. The cinematography is great. This movie has some of the best, most gorgeous cinematography in all 4 of these films as well. And yeah, I love the villain too. This has by far the best villain in all 4 of these movies. None of the villains in the first 3 were as memorable as the villain in this film. This movie really ups the ante, fucking raises the bar for this franchise when it comes to its villain. I could gush about this movie all day, but I gotta keep it short. I got 2 more movies to review after this. Yeah, John Wick Chapter 4, if you haven't seen it, fucking watch it. It is mwah, amazing. Second best movie of the year, in my opinion. The only one that's better, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse topped this, but you know what? It's still number 2. It still gets the silver medal. That's fine in my books, because this movie is the best in the best of the best when it comes to action franchises. Until Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 comes out, we'll see. Because, man, that's still my most anticipated movie of the rest of the year. But anyways, I'm just going to say it. John Wick Chapter 4 gets an A+. Plane stars Gerard Butler, Mike Colter, and Tony Goldwyn, and tells the story of a pilot who allies with a prisoner to save the passengers from hostile territory that they land in. Yeah. So, what do I think of Plane? It's not the most memorable movie I've ever seen, but while you watch it, it is a pretty fun time. I like the action sequences. The action sequences are just serviceable enough. Gerard Butler is always awesome. Gerard Butler is a very underrated action hero. Especially, like, Olympus Has Fallen, one of the best 90s style action movies that we've gotten that wasn't from the 90s. And that's exactly what Plane is as well. It's a 90s action movie that was released in 2023. Is it great? No. Is it the best of its kind? No. But is it fun? Yes. It's a perfectly serviceable, fun action movie. If you just want a good action movie, like, it doesn't have to be, like, the greatest action movie. Like, if you're saying, John Wick is a little too above my taste, yeah, Plane is a perfectly fine substitute. It's like, the cinematography's just fine. The acting's just fine, except Gerard Butler, who was awesome in this movie. It's just a good way to kill 90 minutes. There's not much more I can say about Plane. There's no surprises here. It's pretty tame for an R-rated movie, I will say that. And yeah, the movie just does its job. It's good enough. I'm gonna give Plane a B-. And last, but certainly not least, Infinity Pool. Directed by Brandon Cronenberg, the son of legendary David Cronenberg. It is his 3rd film, and it tells the story of a struggling writer who takes a vacation with a few people, and once an accident happens, they find out the dark culture of the area that they're vacationing in. I know this movie's a few months old already, and I'm still not going to spoil anything because I want everybody who decides to see this movie to go in as blind as possible. Okay, so let's talk about Brandon Cronenberg's previous 2 movies. Antiviral I thought was pretty good, and I fucking loved Possessor. Possessor was one of the best movies of 2020. So, after seeing Possessor, I had high expectations for Infinity Pool, and I fucking adored it when I first saw it, and just like John Wick Chapter 4, when I saw it the second time, I still fucking loved it. This movie is great. It's not for everybody. It is a very weird movie. It's also a slow burn, so if you don't like slower movies, you're not going to like Infinity Pool. You're not going to enjoy the 2-hour experience of lots of weird sex and violent stuff. This movie, I saw the R-rated version in theaters, and on Blu-ray I have the uncut version. If you have no way to see the R-rated version, definitely check out the uncut version. It's something, but it's a great something. Awesome. So yeah, it's just it's weird. It's fucked up. It's got some good gore. It's got some weird sex stuff in it. You get an orgy scene. That's. I'll only spoil that. Yeah, there's an orgy scene in this movie. Yeah. So if you like to see a good orgy, it's not Babylon style. I'll tell you that. It's weirder, and it's something to take in, but it makes it entertaining. Yeah. This movie is just a very entertaining slow burn with, yeah, some good horror elements, some good science fiction elements. It's very well acted. It's extremely well acted, actually. Mia Goth continues to impress in the horror genre. She's one of the best horror actresses I have ever seen in recent times. I hope Mia Goth just keeps working in horror films the rest of her fucking career, because if she keeps making stuff, keeps being in stuff as good as X and Pearl and this, man, she's got a good career ahead of her. I think Mia Goth is awesome, and I kind of have a crush on her too, so there's that. And I always love it when you get to, Anyways, yeah. So Infinity Pool, it's great. It's a great sci-fi horror film. It's got the awesome atmosphere. It's got the great performances. You get some good kills. There's some sex stuff and nudity stuff that will definitely satisfy some people. And yeah, it's just a great time. It was 2 hours extremely well spent. I'm gonna give Infinity Pool a very well deserved A plus. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my latest episode of Quick Movie Reviews. I got some more reviews coming up. I'm going to be continuing on Phase 1 of the MCU. And I'm going to have a review for Transformers Rise of the Beasts coming out very soon. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed my stuff. Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.